3 weeks and change after the brutal terrorist attack by Hamas, doctors and forensic experts are working around the clock. They're still trying to identify bodies. They're trying to bring answers for so many families desperately waiting on news as to what happened to their loved ones. As CNN's Sarah Seidner reports, one of the challenges is how badly some bodies were mutilated beyond recognition. A warning, some images you're about to see in this report are quite disturbing.
These are Hamas militants arriving at Kibbutz Be'eri on October 7th, terrorizing residents.
בבקשה, אנחנו הולכים למות.
אני מנסה לשלוח את הצבא, אמא.
כנסו.
אנחנו אוהבים אתכם.
תכנסו, בבקשה, אמיר. אבא, אני מאבדת את אבא.
תחזיקי אותו.
אנחנו הולכים למות.
אמא, תחזיקי אותו. תחזיקי אותו. בסדר?
למה הם לא רואים? וואי, הנה הם זורקים עלינו פצצות.
הם בהרבה בתים.
רימונים.
כן.
הם זורקים עלינו רימונים, אבא.
כן.
The last conversation between a mother and son in Kibbutz Be'eri. Daughter Michal Pinion shared it with us, her last memory of her mother as Hamas descended on her parents' home.
I know after half an hour, she was writing, help, help.
Oh.
And then it was quiet.
The next time she saw her parents, they were in coffins. Some families have yet to say goodbye. Outside Tel Aviv at the rabbinical Shura military base, inside these containers there are hundreds of unidentified bodies, many mutilated and in fragments.
This place is indeed pure, it's holy, it's paradise, but it's also hell.
Forensic experts, dentists and rabbis are working day and night to identify the victims of October 7th. The smell is completely overwhelming. I mean, completely overwhelming, even with this on. And it's refrigerated, but some of the bodies are just in pieces. It doesn't take much to be really badly affected by just looking at the horror of that. Even those whose job this is are struggling.
You see the lack of humanity, and you see pure cruelty. During our identification process, we heard the screams and we heard the cries of the family that came and said their last goodbye.
The brutality of the Hamas attack is forcing a change to burial rites here, usually very strict in Judaism.
According to Jewish law, we bury the dead when they're in the ground. In this case, we bury them in their coffins because we want to respect them, but also because there isn't much left of them.
Michal Levin-Elad and her colleagues say this is the worst thing they have ever seen because of the evidence of torture.
I started crying, and the other people hugged, and we have these breaking moments because these are atrocious crimes. These are crimes against humanity. This is not regular murder or terror attack or bus explosion. We've seen all of this in Israel, but never anything like this.
What she does know for sure is this is more death and torture than she has ever seen in her career. Cemeteries like this one are popping up across the country. This is just a temporary grave site that is being dug for the victims of the October 7th Hamas attack. When you look at these graves, you can see the remnants of some of the things they loved in life. But there are some gruesome details. One of these graves, for example, has two bodies from a family buried together. Families are insistent that these temporary resting places are just that, temporary.
We don't want them to be buried in another place. They are people of Be'eri. This is their home. This is their community. They cannot be buried anywhere else.
That's because, so far, Kibbutz Be'eri is still under the control of the Israeli army. It's too dangerous to go back. And Pinion realizes her family is just one of potentially 1,400 having to make this awful decision. 3 weeks in, she says they have no idea when they can go home again and when they can finally bury her parents, Amir and Mati, in their final resting place.